Welcome. Thank you for opting in. Now, before you watch the 45-minute masterclass, I've got to tell you about my latest breakthrough that is mind-boggling. I'm so excited. This is a game changer. Literally, this could be the holy grail to medicine. And not just healing from cancer, but healing from all sorts of things. And we'll talk about that. So, when I was treating cancer patients, I found that probably 85% of them had unresolved emotional trauma. And we know physically that would make sense if the immune system is suppressed because of that, holding that anger and unforgiveness, that would be more susceptible to cancer. Well, they also know that even people in hospitals, probably 70-80% of them have unresolved emotional issues. Well, it turns out that if there is an emotional shock, I like to call it a shock event. So it doesn't have to be devastating, but it has to be sudden, surprising, it has to catch you off guard, you have to kind of feel alone and isolated, right? So as an example of your child suddenly getting sick, okay? So, but they don't die, they just suddenly get sick. Now, it turns out that whenever there is an emotional shock like that, it actually causes a biological response in the body. Now, we know that's true with physical trauma. Probably a great example of that is if you twist your ankle, what is the biological response? What does your body do in response to the twisted ankle? That's right, it creates inflammation. Now, inflammation feels bad, it hurts, it's uncomfortable. So we take ibuprofen to take down the inflammation. We wrap it tight with a wrap and we put ice on it to reduce the inflammation. Well, guess what? Every single biological response of the human body is brilliant and it is a good thing, even though it doesn't feel good. So it turns out the biological purpose of that inflammation is to get more blood to the ankle, more blood and oxygen, of course, so it heals faster. So what does your body do to the inflammation when it doesn't need it anymore? In other words, the ankle is healed. That's right, it takes it away automatically. It's built in to be taken away. So that's the key. It's always a three-step process. There's trauma, there's a biological response, which is always positive, always has a good reason, and then the healing phase. Well, it turns out that depending on the type of emotional shock is where that cancer will show up or where that problem in an organ will show up, or even issues like allergies and gluten intolerance and all sorts of things. It's just amazing what we're discovering. So probably the perfect example of that is, let's say a man loses a child. This child suddenly dies. The biological response will be to make his testosterone go really high. So what do you think the biological purpose of that is? That's right, to replace the child that passed away. Oh, so it's actually a good thing. Now, the challenge with a high testosterone like that is it gives what we call testicular cancer. But guess what? As soon as that's not needed anymore, the high testosterone isn't needed anymore, meaning the wife gets pregnant or the baby's born, or even if the dad just resolves that emotional trauma, and that's my gift, is to help people resolve those emotional traumas, even severe ones. As soon as that happens, the body instantly goes into the healing phase. And guess what? The body can actually dissolve the testicular cancer on its own with no outside treatment. Did you catch that? Emotional trauma causes a biological response, which always has a positive purpose. When that's healed, when the trauma is healed, the body instantly goes into the healing phase. Well, what this German physician who had kind of some of the same insights I had, but he worked with thousands of cancer patients, and he was a meticulous scientist. He kept records of anything and literally could identify with 100% accuracy if a person had good testicular cancer of what the biological shock was, right? And what he discovered, and you'll see in the little diagram below that if it took 8 months for you to heal that emotional trauma, or it wasn't needed anymore, like in the case of the wife getting pregnant, it took 8 months for that to happen, guess what? It took 8 months for the body to heal. Now the body will still heal, but for some reason it's going to take the exact same amount of time. And that's when my little brain went, what? Wait a minute. So I modified my hidden secret to healing brain technique that releases the placebo effect on purpose and have done wonderful things to basically instruct the subconscious mind, which is responsible for all the healing that takes place, to speed up that healing process as safe as it is possible. Because I always wondered, sometimes we'll just pray for somebody and they'll have instant healing, instant miraculous healing. Other people will pray for them and it'll take a couple of days or a couple of weeks or maybe a month before they heal. And I go, well, why did it take 3 weeks for them and this guy was healed instantaneously? It's all because of the wisdom that God has put into our bodies for healing, to heal as fast as it's safe as possible. I am about to jump out of my skin. I can't even tell you stories because, the authorities would be very upset. But I am seeing just unbelievable, off the charts, what we would call miracles. And guess what? It is a miracle, but it's actually God's gift to humanity. Now, I'm not saying I'm God's gift to humanity, but I'm so happy to do my part. So below this video, you'll see a description. You'll see some graphics I put together to give you a good visual of what's taking place and some of the details. And then, of course, below that will be the 45-minute masterclass. We'll tell you how to keep your body hostile to cancer cells and releasing the placebo effect and so forth. And just so you know, obviously, I have included this new breakthrough with my coaching program. So if you want help with all this, you're welcome to join me. So I produced guided audios, so I don't have to treat you in person. You could push play, because again, I've just been given a gift of how to do these, so it'll be just as effective. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting some testimonials that I can actually legally share. Maybe you'll be one of them. Hope so. Awesome. Thanks.